Hello, fellow hair loss people. So for those of you who've been following along with my journey, this is my official 5-month post-op update. For those of you who haven't been following along, I did 5 months ago on February 15th get a hair transplant with Dr. Gurr through the FUE Clinic. At the time, I was 28 years old. I've been kind of balding since around 1920, and then I didn't really take it seriously until kind of my mid-20s. In college, I was prescribed Fin, took it on and off. Minoxidil, I kind of took on and off as well. It's one of those things that I was young, I was immature, and I didn't take it seriously until it was kind of already too late. So by the time that I started to really start to take medicines, I was already around Norwood 4. So I had pretty drastic receding on both sides. I didn't have too much loss of my crown at that point, but then for whatever reason, kind of COVID hit at the very beginning of COVID, and I lost quite a bit of hair on my crown, and my receding continued. So I was on minoxidil regularly at that point, and it did slow down my hair loss. I'm currently on both finasteride and minoxidil. I haven't had any side effects. I take both of those topically, and they have definitely helped me keep all of my native hair after my hair transplant. So going in and looking at my 5-month post-op results. So for those of you who know, this is my weaker side. You can still see there's kind of gaps in my hair itself. When you look up nice and close, you can see that there's kind of a gap here, and then there's almost like a line gap back here. I'm not super worried at this point. I do anticipate that it will continue to get thicker, but overall this side, you can tell from looking at all the angles, there are definitely still gaps on that side. But now to my good side. Going over to my good side, you can see the density is pretty strong. I do have a small gap that's kind of on the back side. It's tough to tell. Right here, this is all transplanted hairs. This is my native hairs. It looks like maybe it didn't blend perfectly, but it could also be that I just got a haircut. That's another thing that I want to talk about. I did get a fade. For those of you who just saw, I did make a video talking about whether or not you can get a fade after getting a hair transplant. One thing I forgot to mention is it was a 1.5 guard. I put it down in the description in the video, on that video, but it's a 1.5 guard. In my opinion, you really can't tell that any of my donor area had hairs extracted from it. It looks like it's pretty solid, and to me it just looks like a normal fade. And for what it's worth, on Reddit, on another forum on male hair advice, I did post about my fade, and no one made any comments really except one guy about how I had a hair transplant. And also no one mentioned that I was balding. No one said that it looked weird, and none of that. So it made me feel pretty good, because this is the first time that I've gotten now 2 haircuts that I felt really good after getting them. It used to be before this that I'd get a haircut and I'd be so nervous about getting it, and you know, you go outside and the wind blows a certain way and you just don't feel comfortable. And that's really the main reason that I got a hair transplant to begin with. When I started on this journey to try and find a hair transplant doctor, I joined a Facebook group called the Hairloss Conquerors, and they kind of helped guiding me in my decision. I did make another video talking about why I chose Dr. Gurr, so I won't talk about that too much here, but I did choose Dr. Gurr to get my my transplant done through him, and I've never been happier with how I look as an adult. I've never been happier with my hair in my adult life. It's a pretty good feeling to go out of the house every day and not just be reaching for a ball cap, and you know, not feeling the need to cover it up. Makes me feel pretty good. So another thing I want to talk about is my scalp is still a little bit itchy. My understanding is that as the hairs get transplanted down into your scalp and they're growing through your scalp, it causes a little bit of itchiness. It was really bad around the 2-month mark and the 3-month mark as hairs first started coming through the scalp. At this point now, 5 months, it's a little bit itchy. It's not nearly as bad as it was, but that I guess is pretty normal. I did ask my doctor, and they said that there was no issue with that. And then another thing I want to talk about is a couple weeks ago I did get a new headshot at work, so I'm going to post that new headshot photo afterwards. It turned out phenomenal. You can't tell that I had a hair transplant. There was a lot of strong lighting, you know, as headshots usually have. So there was lots of lighting kind of up front on my head, and you really can't tell, especially because of the way that my head is. You can't tell my weak area at all, so it looked really, really good. And then also at the end of this video, I will make sure to include my pre-op photos that I sent to Dr. Gurr when I got my consult. So other than that, if you guys have any comments, please let me know. Looking in again on my area, this is kind of that gap area that you can see right there, but still it looks so much better than it was. And I kind of expect it to blend over the next couple months. Looking in at the back area here, you can see all around the back of my head and my crown. Also, for what it's worth, I think my crown has healed at kind of a amazing rate. I've gotten a lot of density already in my crown, considering I'm only 5 months post-op. It's my understanding that it doesn't heal till 6, 7, 8+ months out, and I've already gotten pretty good density back there. I still hope it continues, and I hope that it fills in a bit more, but I'm very happy with how my hairline has turned out. So if you guys have any questions, please make sure to comment down below. Make sure to like and subscribe for all my future updates. Thank you.